Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Zamboni Talk. As always, I hope you're all doing very well, achieving your goals, and just crushing out there. So, before we get started today, I just wanted to thank you all so much for watching, for tuning in, for kicking back, relaxing, and hopefully taking some motivation from these videos and progressing forward with your life. But as always, please like and subscribe, and any comments or thoughts down below, I'd love to hear them. So, in today's topic, what we're going to talk about is something that doesn't get said enough, and that in today's world really gets lost in translation when trying to do things, trying to achieve anything of significance. And that is the fact that improving, getting better at something, improving your situation is, for the most part, an incredibly boring and monotonous and laborious task, right? That is the majority of the time what happens when you are trying to improve on something. And this is so hard to understand for so many people, because for a lot of people out there, what you see is the success of others and their life, maybe on social media. Maybe you see their highlights somewhere else. You talk to them and you hear everything that's going on well in their life. Anything along those lines. But you don't hear the monotonous and almost obsessive path it took for them to get to where they are now, right? And it's often been said, and I've often heard from a lot of my mentors, that just if you spent 20 minutes a day perfecting something, working at something, improving on something, you would be better than 90% of the people out there. 90, or even higher than that. I think 95% of the people out there, right? So that, for a lot of people, that is so hard to comprehend, because the idea of success and success in a lot of external metrics that other people can see is something that is glamorous, is that it's exciting, it's there's a lot to it, where everything that led up to that usually was incredibly boring. And a couple examples of that is that, for example, like, let's say you want to achieve financial success, right? How do the majority of people achieve financial success? It's every day, investing a little bit of money, saving a little bit of money, spending a little bit less than you make, and start to put that away, and everything starts to compound, right? And for the majority of people, that is not exactly exciting to do, right? Is it exciting to invest a couple $100 a week or a couple $100 a month and start to snowball everything and have the daily habits to be able to achieve that success? I mean, I would go out there and assume that 95% of the people out there would say, no, that's an incredibly boring task, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to wait for that, right? I want the success today. And there's very few people in the world that can have that success right away, that can achieve what they want and get it so quick. There is people out there is some outliers that they are so exceptional at a task, or they've had such exceptional guidance that they're able to fast track a lot of the gains, so to speak, right? But that is an incredibly rare situation, and even in that situation, the fact of the matter is, somebody before them probably put in so much work to be able to teach them and to be able to push that forward, so to speak, right? Pay it forward, I guess I should say. But in general, even I touched on the financial success, and then even in terms of fitness, right? It is every day is that consuming a little bit less calories than you expend, consuming the right amount of protein every day, progressively overloading in the gym, a couple pounds each week. And that's what somebody came up to me and said the other day. They just straight up asked me. I remember I ran into somebody that I haven't seen for a long time, and they straight up said to me, "How do you build muscle?" Right? And I said, "Well, that's I guess a pretty loaded. It's a loaded question, but in another way, it's also quite simple because there's many factors that go into it, but the daily actions that you need to achieve that goal is actually quite simple." I said, hit your protein metrics, get the required rest that you need, and progressively overload, whether that's the pound a week on the bar or another rep, like the most small incremental increases, and you add those up over years, and that is absolutely game changing. Right? Absolutely game changing. And the individual that I was talking to when I said this, he's like, "Really? That's all it is to gain muscle? It's not, it's not taking all these crazy supplements and having these crazy workout routines and doing something that's game changing." I said, "No, that's not what it is at all. You stick to a couple exercises, you get stronger at them, you fuel your body properly, and that's it. Right? And that's it." So that could be said in so many other aspects of life. If in a relationship wise, right? I mean, if you want to get better at it, or you want to get better at picking up somebody from the opposite gender, or whatever the fact may be, then you go up to them. You go up to random people a couple times a day, and you start talking to them, right? You fail over and over again, and you get a little bit better every time. You learn a little bit every time, and that's it, right? It's not some complicated formula on how to achieve attraction from somebody else, or there's so much information out there, and there's so many people trying to sell courses and coaching and everything else along those lines, that if you just stuck to the basics, which I mentioned in another video as well, and you just got a little bit better every day, it's incredibly boring. But that boring work is what, at the end of the day, what is going to get the results, right? Because majority of people cannot do it on a daily basis. Right? How many people do you know in life take incremental steps to get better at something each and every day, and have a goal that maybe they check off the boxes for every day, that their goal is 10 years from now, right? They've set out a 10-year plan. And like, how many people do you know do that? There's not that many. And the ones that do are so far ahead of everybody else that you're probably not associating yourself with them, right? So this is something that I wanted to get across, a point that I wanted to get across, because, like I said, I feel this gets lost in translation through so many people, because there's always so many formulas and methods to achieving what people want, that a lot of times they just straight up forget that if you just check the boxes, the simple boxes, a couple of them every single day, then you have no choice but to achieve your goal. Because when that's the case, things will come around, obstacles will come your way, and you will find a way around them. that's often what happens in my life. I something comes up, and I always think, oh, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. I don't know how I'm going to do this. But yet, I break things down and into very small tasks, manageable tasks and goals, and I'm able to work through things. Right? And that's it. And that's really the only way to do it. Because otherwise, there's going to be no progression made in any aspects of your life, right? And I'm already seen, like, I'm already so surprised that the gym that I go to is a busy gym. It's a very popular gym. It's an amazing atmosphere, right? But I noticed this year was particularly bad for the amount of people that dropped off in the new year. Like, it was like a couple weeks of it being really busy, and that was it. And then the crowds dropped off immediately, like off a cliff. And why? Why? Because these people that are creating the goals, in that case the fitness goals, they are overcomplicating everything, and they they didn't align their lives to make small incremental steps every day and to do that boring work and to, you know, to get through that on a daily basis. They never ingrained that into themselves. So then they went out, they hit it hard for a couple of weeks, right? And then life got in the way. It's no longer a priority. There's other things going on, and that's the end of that. So it's quite sad, actually, but that is life, and that's the way the majority of the people are. And if you want to stand out, you want to be different, then that is the route you have to take. Do the boring, monotonous work on a daily basis, and you will achieve success. Thank you very much.